Carl Irwin, Irish representative, reporting from the WAGC in Shenzhen. Just back to my hotel room then after game 4. So I was paired against Israel today. I'll talk a little bit about that. So the Israel guy, Amir, he's 6 dan. So I'll talk about that a little bit in a second. The big upset from yesterday was that the Chinese player lost to the Taipei representative then. So it'll be interesting to see how the final few games play out against the Korean representative, the Chinese representative, and the Taipei guy, whether or not he'll be able to win all his games against the other strong players. So this morning then, Israel, 6 dan. To be honest, I was quite optimistic. Like, I think as well, nowadays with AI in particular, I always feel going in any game, like there's always going to be opportunities. And as long as I've got my eyes open and I'm willing to try and find opportunities, they'll probably be there. So what I've done is I've taken some pictures then. This is the main competition hall then, where you could see some players. So this was after I'd finished my game today, and then the other players are still finishing off their matches. And then what they've done as well is to keep the main competition hall quiet then. They've given us another room down below for us to play games and do reviews then afterwards. So I headed down there today with Amir after the game then. I certainly think, sort of in summary, I don't think I let myself down. I'll let you be the judge of that after looking through today's game then. Okay. So I was black then against Israel and just started off. I decided to play something. I didn't want to keep playing the same opening, so I decided to do a low knight's move here in the corner. And then he came in here, which I'm not that worried about because I've played quite a lot of games like this. So I just came in the corner here and played a simple variation, taking the corner. I don't know why I did. I suppose there's a small difference. I for some reason I just captured. I should probably just extend down here because obviously giving him the centi move in a minute as well. There's no need to do that. It's a little bit silly. But again, I just wanted to get through the opening quite quickly and leave as much time as possible to think in the mid game for fighting. Because I was talking to the Romanian player before the match, and he was saying about Amir, the Israeli player, that he is good at the opening, but maybe weaker at the fighting. So I wanted to make sure I left myself plenty of time for the middle game today then. So this was normal. I came straight into the corner then, so just take as many points as possible. And then when I saw that he went for this, in Chinese, I don't know, is there a Western name for this Druseki at the moment? But in Chinese, it's called the Mishufei Dao. Anyway, so I was quite happy to play through this. So just push through, cut, extend, and then whenever I hanied, he went for the simple variation where he just connects here. And I wasn't too worried about fighting because I figured if we had a big Joseki, I've already got this corner down in the bottom left-hand corner and potentially some co-threats as well. So I wasn't too worried here. I played this variation. This is slightly better for the end game, but I made a small mistake here as well. It was a little bit silly. I don't know why. Again, I was quite nervous this morning. And so here, instead, when he cuts, I should just Atari and take this. This move is a little bit silly because I only Atari'd here, so I should have played that first. And then it's as though we've made this exchange here. One of the other reasons is because eventually I was thinking I want to come into the left-hand side. By playing it like this then, obviously, his liberties are a little bit tighter than they would be otherwise. So again, I didn't want to play the variation where I just extended downwards here because then I felt that white would be much thicker and there would be less Lagi left for later on. So I played here. Computer seems to think I should come out directly. It's not too big a deal. I just surrounded the corner. White came here, played the Sinsente, and then came into the corner. I'm very happy with all these sort of Josekis in this corner, so I was quite happy to play through this quite quickly. And then, so I noticed obviously that the ladder's good for white here, but that's not a problem because I figured now, when white plays here, I now bring this stone out here. So obviously aiming to activate this ladder or pull out from this ladder then in the ensuing fight up in the top left-hand corner. So white pushed here. I think white as well, this is a little bit slack, should keep the pressure up on my stones by pushing again. And I just jumped now. Something went wrong in my head. So when white played here next, I should obviously just pull the stone out of the ladder immediately. This is awful timing. I don't know. I think I slightly misread it and thought that I was missing the ladder just. This is rather embarrassing because this was a really gifted opportunity to pull this out, and that would have been black quite comfortable in this game. Instead, I just did the exchange. I think the reason was here is my logic was in the corner. Once we've made this here, the ladder is still good for me, so why not just make the exchanges in the corner? which doesn't quite make sense because then I'm playing an extra move essentially in the corner when I could have just dealt with it by pulling out my stone directly. So white played this. White's made this set of exchanges to guarantee that this extension downwards then is Sente, so I have to come back here. And then what white's hoping to do is Atari here, and if I connect, then, or if I don't connect, white's hoping to try and fix this ladder here by leaving a net later on. But obviously at this point here then, I just come straight back up to the top then because I've got Sente to play here, so this move isn't Sente. So as you can see here as well, the computer thinks I'm slightly better at this point as well. I was a bit silly because I think I was focusing too much on white's territory down on the left hand side, when what I should have been doing is there's the obvious move up here, which I didn't play, but really that's the key point that I should have been going for here. But I thought I could maybe play on the left and then come back there, which isn't what worked out. So I went for the cut directly. White played here, and then I turned, and when white played this, then I pushed through, because obviously white can't block directly because this is going to be a little bit messy here. So white played this, and then I pulled through. And again, the interesting thing here is I shouldn't push through again here. I should just come back to the top then. The computer seems to be emphasizing how important the top is. And really, I suppose the point is, if I play here, it's going to be very difficult for white to pull these stones out. So that's a lot of points for me. So I just pushed through here, and then white got this move in here. So the game's looking, at this point, I think both players, Amir, after talking about the game, felt that black was doing well. But actually, the computer seems to think it's exceptionally even at this point. I just connected here. Computer thinks this is a bad move, but Amir after the game he said he thought it was a good move. I thought it was a good move at the time. The logic being that, well, this jump here now, you've still got weakness in your shape, and obviously if you fix your shape then this is going to seem a little bit over concentrated. But if you don't fix your shape then obviously I've got some moves up here and can threaten your group. So white just played the jump, which is absolutely fine, and then this is a bit slow. I shouldn't be playing this. It's the computer takes 1 point off me. And then I played this, and then I came back down here. And actually, whenever I played this in the game, I thought I was doing really well. And I think white did as well. After talking to white after the game, I thought, we both thought that white was certainly reasonably comfortable. But again, the computer doesn't seem to think so. So at this point as well, I'll explain. So after this, I just came here and played the Hani, because I figured as long as I can get more points there, then that's absolutely fine. Again, I just made this exchange, because obviously this is already defended against white's attaching here and then coming into the corner, and so I just made these exchanges down here, which is no big issue, and then connected, and then white played this, and then connected here, because now I'm still thinking about this ladder, and this weak cut is there's a bit of a weakness here, because otherwise if white comes down here and Hane's, I might be in a little bit of trouble. This was strange. I do not know what was going on in my head. This is utterly bizarre, this move. And it's one of these moves, when I was going through the game just there, after arriving back in my room, I was like, what? I can't make sense of my thought process. The only thing I can explain is, I think at this point I was down to 5 minutes on my clock, and Amir had about 20-25 minutes. So I was getting quite excited, because I felt like I had really good opportunities. And I did have really good opportunities in this game, but it started getting a little bit carried away, and yeah, no. So I've made some bad decisions here, and here pushing through, giving up this Sente. What have I gained in response here? White's got the initiative now, and I've also helped make white thicker as well. White attached here, then just made these exchanges, peaked, and then came through. And so when this happened here, I sort of felt the advantage that I'd had was gone then at this point. I felt like it was an even game. Amir thought as well that it was a pretty even game at this point as well. But again, it's interesting. The computer seems to think that white's doing well. So I peeped, and then attached. And then, again, it was interesting, because in the review after the game, again, Amir said, I should just have pulled back there, and that would have been fine. But my feeling was that actually white had enough points here. And that's what the computer thinks as well, interestingly enough, too. So I Haned then. My attitude was, if I'm going to lose this, I want to lose this match fighting. I don't want to lose it sitting down. So there were still some opportunities here, but this is already, black is now in a lot of trouble then. And at this point as well, obviously, I think it was from about here, I was already in Buyomi. So only 30 seconds per move then. And there was one last chance that I missed here. just happens in a second. So after white gives me terrible shape, white played this. I turned. So there was one last chance here, which was when white played this, I actually now should come in, or actually it was at this time, wasn't it? Yeah, I should come in here and I can actually live with this group and then potentially live with this group. And if you look here, the computer's giving us a very half-point game coming up as well then. So, but again, that was with the time I'd left on my clock. That wasn't going to be too realistic. I'm just really happy, to be honest, with this game. I think in the opening I played quite well, especially against the 6-dan player. I certainly didn't give him any easy time, but it was, again, my typical issue is when I get a little bit excited and then I start thinking about, oh, I've got chances, instead of, all of my cognitive resources should be being put into the game, but they're not. I'm starting to engage in little flights of fantasy, of getting a nice victory, which is ridiculous. So again, I think I need to work a little bit more on my focus this afternoon. So these are the games for this afternoon then. So I'm up against Serbia and it's just after 1 o'clock here, so I've got another hour and a half. I'm going to go for a little walk first and clear my head, and then we'll see how it goes. I think the Serbian guy is 4-dan as well, so, or is it 4-dan or 5-dan? I can't remember, but anyway, it's likely to be a tough game, so I want to make sure that we're now getting into the opponents that are of a sort of similar strength to myself, so I want to make sure that I've got 3 games left now, 1 this afternoon, then 2 tomorrow. So I want to make sure, as best as I can, if I can get 2 wins out of those 3 remaining games, that would be awesome. But I think it's going to be a difficult aspiration to realise. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'll see you guys this evening whenever I'm back after game number 2. Bye-bye. So I'm just back in this afternoon. It's just before 4 o'clock. Actually, I've just been relaxing for the last 30 minutes or so. So shorter game than expected, but in a good way, thankfully. So I managed to get a quick win against Serbia there, which wasn't what I was expecting. And I didn't play too badly either. You can see from my points here, I think the biggest mistake I make was sort of about a couple of points. So there wasn't anything too wrong with the game as well, but it didn't feel that easy. Like I was still quite nervous, so I decided to open up with my 6-6-4s. He played this, the 5-4 point. I was going to contemplating jumping in, but I thought I'll leave it, and then we reverted to something that seems a little bit more sensible. He came in here, which isn't particularly good, and then I just Hane here, he connects, and then shoulder hit here, because what I'm hoping to do is well, I'm worried here if the other tempting thing to do here is for me to jump back with a 2-space extension, but then I figured that he might just jump here with a large knight's move or something like that, so I thought I'd come here and shoulder hit first to see what he decides to do, and then base my decision off that. Because already here, I think this exchange here, I'm quite happy. If he plays on the other side now, it'll be easier for me to reduce this. Then he approached this. I just come. Yeah. So obviously I can attack these stones as well. Because I expected here, I suppose there's no need for him to do it, as I thought he might extend or something like that just to settle this group here. Because I was quite happy after he plays this, and then I get to approach this group. Obviously this doesn't have 2 eyes at the moment, so I quite like having a target that I can sort of work towards whilst surrounding my territory here. So I was feeling quite happy about the way things were turning out. I just come into the corner here. Then he played the extension. And I'm hoping to get Sente, so I just keep on pressing up against him. I thought this was very small. Like, this just doesn't seem right. I think here black needs to jump or do something a bit. This just seemed unreasonably small. So I was quite happy here then just to play the sweeping knight's move in the corner. The computer doesn't super like it, but it's only a points different. It's not a big deal here. I think the computer still wants me to come back up to the top side here and extend. Or I think it's the Hane here is really big. But my logic was, the reason I didn't play the Hane is because obviously black's got this corner here, so I wasn't too sure. I thought the value was questionable of this Hane. So I could see the points when I played this Kema and just surrounding my corner. He played here. Yeah, this was slightly strange as well. But again, the computer didn't like my blocking. But I think black here, I think this... I felt after this exchange here that my understanding was maybe slightly better than black's. Because obviously, what's the problem here? Well, now, because of the ordering, so for example, if we started off to begin with, if black hanes and extends, I'm going to block. But because of the ordering here, instead of extending, I'm just going to connect here. And then I can jump further out as well, and I don't have a cutting point that I need to worry about. Black's next move was also really strange as well. So it's in this shape here. There's normally two sort of general strategies. One of them either is just make the connection really securely so your opponent's got no sente moves against it, or if you want to go for efficiency in surrounding territory, then probably go for the large knight's move, or in some situations maybe slightly further here. But the large knight move seems reasonable. So here he played this, so I was just like, okay, I'll just Hane. And you can see already, this stone here looks a little bit strange then. In terms of the efficiency, it's not great. And then I was able to jump back down here then and start attacking these stones. Well, I'm not actually trying to attack these stones. I'm just trying to hopefully settle my own stones here. Because this shape here is still already quite cramped. So I'm already thinking about later on, I've got this 2-space extension here, which is going to put some pressure on black. Because there's quite a famous Tsuji in this shape as well. Black jumps. Maybe this was a little bit slow. Again, the computer just wants me. Obviously, like I can see clearly here, this block is huge, and I'm aware of that. But at the same time, I'm hoping to. I want to play thickly because on the right-hand side now, Black's probably still missing a move, and I figure as long as I'm thick, then I've got even more potential to reduce Black on the left-hand side. Then I can maybe do a deeper invasion or something like that. So I just played just nice solid connection, and then played out here. And when Black played this then, I was already quite surprised, so I jumped up here. So I think as well, and the computer agrees with what I thought in the game, is Black really here needs to do the 1-space jump or something to settle this group here. Because whenever I get the press here, I'm sort of connecting my grips, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on this here. So Black played this. The computer wants me to play the simplest brute force exchange and just sacrifice these 3 stones, and then cost me this, which unfortunately, I don't quite have the courage for. So in the game, I was a bit more boring, and I just extended out here. And this was quite a bad move, because obviously Black can play here, and that's sente. This isn't sente, which is a little bit strange then. So then I just jumped straight in here, and this is obviously a Tsuji. If Black blocks here, then I've got this move here, and Black's potentially only got 1 eye. And so was in a little bit of trouble here. So Black played something very strange, connected here. There's still a potential for me to make some mistakes. Like at this point here, I'm getting quite excited because I feel like I've got a big chance to finish off the game. When Black plays here, so the last little test, I suppose, is this move here. I've got to be a little bit careful. If I try to block or go for a ko or something, I could be in trouble. But I've noticed here as well, this is an Atari, and I can maybe come in here. So I thought in the game, again, the computer thought this was the simplest, best move as well. I just Atari these 2 stones here, so not giving him any usage, and then also threatening. It makes it easier for me to take away his eyes as well. So he came out here. Normally as well, in this kind of situation, the first instinct is to Atari first and sort of get a nice rhythm here. But I thought, this is good enough. Black plays this. I connect instead of capturing, because again, it doesn't matter. An extra liberty here doesn't make any difference to this exchange. But obviously, I'm thinking about if Black does something, I've got the squeeze. Is it a squeeze? What do you call that there? I think a wedge. Yeah, I can wedge in here, and Black's shape's got a little bit of problem. So Black played this, and then within 2 seconds, I just put down this wedge, because Black's shape's obviously in big trouble. And then Black's sort of last hope maybe is coming here and can he attack this on a large scale. So I'm not trying to save everything. I just thought, let's just get a living group and stabilize this. So I attached on top and then went for the cross cut. And then Black played this, and I thought, okay, I can give the bottom a little bit. So I just tried to capture this stone. And then there's a little bit of Tsuji here, so I just connected. Black played through, captured Atari, and Hane, reducing the liberties, because obviously Black's shape's not great. Black here obviously needs to do this Atari, and then Atari this, so he needs to make all this horrible exchange here. Black didn't in the game. Black played here, and I gave a sigh of relief as I put the final stone down on the board, which is the throw in here. So obviously when Black captures, then I've got the Atari, and the ladder is good for me. So that was a relieving a relieving end to day 3 then. And I suppose the main reason here is why was it a bit of a relief? Because now I've got 3 wins in the competition, so that means tomorrow I don't feel too much. Like tomorrow, if I get 1 win tomorrow, I'm going to be super happy with 4 wins at the competition. Then, so I think it's given me a really good foundation for trying hard at tomorrow's games, but at the same time also enjoying them without having too much pressure. I think if I'd lost my second game this afternoon, I'd be going into tomorrow with a little bit too much pressure on myself to not want to get to get a win tomorrow. Anyway, so this was a nice end to the day, and because of the short time of the game, it means I've got a little bit of time to relax then. So the pairings for tomorrow then presently aren't out, but I will post them again in tomorrow's video then. So I'm going to go and chill out for a bit. I'm looking forward to day 4, the last day of the WAGC in Shenzhen. Bye bye guys.